Life is like a roller coaster, filled with ups and downs, unexpected turns, and moments of pure adrenaline. Sometimes, we find ourselves in situations that leave us confused and directionless, as if we are trapped in a maze with no way out. Have you ever felt that way, as if you are just going through the days without really knowing what comes next? It's normal, and it's something many of us face at some point in life. But what if I told you that, even in moments of uncertainty, there is a greater plan at work? It's common to struggle to understand what is happening around us. The truth is that often we cannot see beyond the bend, but that doesn't mean there isn't a path ahead. There is a promise that each of us has a purpose, even when circumstances seem challenging or even discouraging. Imagine for a moment that the surprises we encounter are in fact disguised opportunities. What would happen if we decided to open our hearts to these changes instead of resisting them? The theme we are going to explore today invites us to reflect on how the divine plan can surprise us in ways we never imagined. It serves as a reminder that, even in difficulties, there is a possibility for renewal and hope. Get ready to discover that it's your turn. Sometimes the weight of uncertainties can make us feel adrift, without a compass to follow. It's in those moments that it's crucial to remember that we are not alone and that there is a plan which, although we often cannot see, is being carefully developed. In Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, we find a powerful truth. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This passage reminds us that, even when life seems chaotic, there is a divine purpose that surrounds us. Often we are consumed by worries about what the future holds, but this message invites us to trust that there is something greater at play. In times of doubt, we might ask ourselves, how can I be sure that this plan is truly good? The answer may lie in our willingness to open our hearts and minds, allowing hope to enter. In today's world, we face various challenges that can leave us feeling lost. Whether it's an unexpected career change, difficulties in relationships, or a health crisis. In those moments, it's easy to get lost in negative thoughts and question whether there is a purpose behind it all. However, the promise contained in Jeremiah invites us to look beyond immediate circumstances. When we allow ourselves to believe that a better future awaits us, we start to see the small blessings that hide within difficult situations. Reflecting on the plans that are promised to us can be a powerful starting point. How about at this moment considering the areas of your life where you might be feeling discouraged? Instead of closing yourself off to possibilities, open yourself to the idea that God's surprises may be around you, waiting to be discovered. Remember that even in uncertainty, hope can guide us to a brighter future. The plans that are presented to us often go beyond our immediate understanding. It's natural that when we face difficulties, we want to have all the answers and understand every step of the way. However, trust in a greater plan is an invitation to faith. This faith is not blind. It is a conscious choice to believe that even in uncertainties, there is something good to be revealed. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that life is not just about what we can see, but also about what we can feel and trust. Think about how in our lives, we often encounter situations that initially seem unfavorable. For example, an unexpected layoff can be a distressing moment, but it can also open doors to new opportunities that we never would have explored if we had been comfortable in our previous job. When we allow ourselves to look beyond the surface, we begin to realize that difficulties can be catalysts for significant personal and spiritual growth. Another example is when we face a difficult relationship. Instead of just focusing on what is going wrong, we can ask ourselves, what is this situation teaching me? This shift in perspective helps us seek lessons and develop resilience. Sometimes, a separation can lead us to reevaluate our priorities and seek relationships that truly nourish our souls. The invitation here is for us to open ourselves to these surprises. When we trust that there is a greater plan, we begin to see the small blessings and the signs that guide us. This doesn't mean we will understand everything immediately, but rather that we can choose to believe there is a purpose in every phase of our journey. By doing so, we become more receptive and capable of embracing what is to come, even if it is not in our original plans. Therefore, may we cultivate this faith and prepare for the surprises that life and this spiritual connection have to offer us. The story of Joseph is one of the most inspiring in the Bible, but today let's talk about another character, who also faced surprising challenges. Ruth. Ruth, a Moabite woman, lost her husband and found herself alone in an unfamiliar land, accompanying her mother-in-law, Naomi. Often when we think of Ruth, we remember her loyalty, but what few notice is how her life took unexpected turns. In Ruth chapter 1 verse 16 she says, "Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay." This statement is not just a demonstration of love, but also a courageous choice to open oneself to the unknown. Ruth left behind her culture and her security, trusting that there was a greater purpose in her journey. Upon arriving in Bethlehem, she began working in the fields of a man named Boaz, unaware that he would be part of the divine plan for her life. Ruth not only found sustenance, but also became the great-grandmother of King David, a position she could never have imagined. Many of us face moments when we feel lost, like Ruth. You may be dealing with the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or even changes in your health. Ruth's story teaches us that even amid uncertainty, we can be surprised by blessings we didn't expect. Sometimes life asks us to be bold, to move forward even when we don't have all the answers. The lesson that Ruth leaves us is that by accepting the unexpected and opening ourselves to new possibilities, we can discover a new path full of hope. How about reflecting on the areas of your life where you might be hesitating to take a step forward? Remember that just like Ruth, you might be one step away from a surprising transformation. Once I met a woman who went through an extremely difficult period in her life. She had lost the job she had worked at for years, a place that had become her second home. Sitting in her living room, surrounded by piles of resumes, she looked out the window, feeling frustration and uncertainty weighing on her shoulders. How will I pay the bills? What will I do now? Were questions that tormented her. But something changed when she decided to attend a workshop on entrepreneurship. Hesitant yet determined, she signed up, thinking she had nothing to lose. During the event, she met incredible people and heard inspiring stories of overcoming challenges that encouraged her to view her difficulties differently. Maybe this is the opportunity I needed, she thought, as she listened to others' experiences. Over time, confidence began to grow within her. Instead of seeing unemployment as an end, she started to view it as a new beginning. Each day, she dedicated herself to learning something new, and the passion she once had for her work sparked an inner flame that had long been extinguished. A month later, she launched her own business, something she had never considered before. What once seemed like a detour in her plan transformed into a path full of promises. The lesson that this experience teaches us is that often, the most challenging situations can open doors we never imagined. When we allow ourselves to view difficulties as opportunities, we begin to see that the divine plan can surprise us in ways we cannot predict. Just like her, we too can find new beginnings amidst chaos. Therefore, may we always remember that even in adversity, there is a purpose waiting to be revealed. Now I invite you to take a moment to pause and reflect on your own journey. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Think about the areas of your life where you feel stuck or lost. Ask yourself, what do I truly desire for my future? Visualize yourself opening the doors to those areas, allowing new possibilities to enter. What surprises could you discover if you allowed yourself to trust in a greater plan? Now bring to mind a challenging situation you are facing. How could you see it as a disguised opportunity? Remember that, just like the woman who transformed her loss into a new beginning, you too can find an unexpected path. Allow yourself to feel hope blossoming within you. This is the moment to embrace the surprises that life can bring. May this reflection guide you to a future full of possibilities. Today, I invite you to take a pause and connect more deeply with what we have been discussing. Let us join together in a prayer of surrender and gratitude. Dear God, I come before you with an open heart, recognizing that often I feel lost and without direction. I confess that in moments of uncertainty, it is easy to let fear take over and let doubts eclipse my vision. But in this moment, I choose to surrender all my worries and anxieties to you, trusting that you have a greater plan for my life. I am grateful for the surprises I have already experienced and for those yet to come. Thank you for every challenge that presented itself as a disguised opportunity, for every door that closed, allowing me to seek new paths. May I always remember that even in difficulties, you are working in my favor, guiding me towards what is good and true. Help me to cultivate a grateful heart, even when the answers are unclear and the future seems cloudy. And now, Lord, I come to you with a sincere request. Help me discern your plans and have the courage to embrace the changes that arise before me. May I, each day, open my eyes and my heart to the blessings that surround me, even in the small things. Strengthen my faith so that I may trust that, like in the story of Ruth and many others, there is great purpose in every step of my journey. May I be a channel of light and hope in the lives of others, sharing the message that there is always a new beginning. May I be willing to accept the unexpected and open myself to your will. Amen. Today we explored together the beauty of opening ourselves to the surprises that life and faith can bring us. We learned that even in uncertainties and challenges, there is always a greater purpose at work. By trusting that there is a divine plan, we can find hope and renewal in moments that seem chaotic. Remember, each of us has a unique purpose, and difficulties can transform into surprising opportunities. May you be touched by this message, and always be willing to embrace the unexpected. In the end, I invite you to share your experiences in the comments. How have you seen surprises in your life? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like so we can continue this journey of faith and inspiration together. May your week be filled with blessings.